All right, gentlemen. I have to start with Doug, don't I?
Absolutely.
I have to start with Doug.
He kicked a 54-yard game winner once. I didn't.
If they're setting up for a 54-yarder, tell me honestly, as he sets up for that 54-yarder, are you thinking, man, I hope he ties this team record here for the win?
You know, I do want him to make it. He's a solid kicker. He's a good guy. I don't really care.
You didn't go back to the Wayback Machine because we take you back to 1994. It was, what was it? Christmas Eve. Christmas Eve against Philadelphia, and that's the record, 54-yarder. Do you remember it well?
I do remember it well. I actually kicked that short field goal to tie us up. Went over. It was a really cold game. It was Crumride's last game. He got a Harley, rode it out on the field. But I go over, I sit down, I put a cape on, I got my hat on, put my helmet down. I'm sitting next to the heater. I'm trying not to fall asleep because it's, you know, I'm just so cozy. And then all of a sudden we do an onside, we get the ball, and I go out and kick another one. I ran out without my helmet. They ran my helmet out to me, and I go out and make it. And it was an ugly kick, but it went through.
He doesn't tell you about the 30-yard win that was behind
exactly.
the heater, though.
All right, 54-yard win, which sets us up. Is Nugent your MVP? Our poll question tonight. Who is your MVP? In the back-to-back road wins, you've got to combine both games. So I'm not going to defer to him yet. This is your first answer.
Well, I want to go E. I'm going to go with the lousy special teams play of both Buffalo and Detroit these 2 weeks.
Oh,
I'm kidding you. All right. It was bad. You got to admit, the punt return they allowed last week and then the punt today was bad.
And that's fine, but that's the way football goes.
I'd love to go Nugent, but that's his job, I guess, to some degree.
And there were a lot of people who wanted Huber on this question, and he did some great work.
I'm going to go Andy Dalton because you know what? He played back-to-back very good games. He's gotten beaten up a lot in this town for no good reason.
Okay, and yours?
As much as I'd like to go Nugent, I do have to go with Andy Dalton. I think he gets a lot of the blame when things go bad, and I think right now he deserves a little credit. He, you know, obviously he made some good plays. He can play better, but he's been our player of the game the last 2 games.
372 yards. That's his career long now without a pick in the game. 135.9. That is his career high passer rating, and everybody's now saying, "See, we told you so." This is the way Andy Dalton was. As you say, he may have been able to play a little bit better, but is this a winning quarterback now that has something special going for this team?
I don't know about the something special. I mean, something special is Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers like, but he's a winning quarterback. He's been a winning quarterback. He's been to 2 playoff games. They're 5-2 with him as the quarterback. Again, he isn't Tom Brady. He's not Aaron Rodgers. He's never going to be. The guy knows how to win football games, though.
As you watch this, are you wondering why people are dissing on Andy Dalton so much up to this point?
No, I get it. I mean, he's honestly, I like him. Like I said, he's a competitor. I like he brings fire. I think he's a good leader. But to me, what is really I'm struggling with Andy is there's several times if he just threw it a little farther, you know, AJ doesn't have to stop to catch the ball. He throws a few balls that, you know, may not be as tight a spiral. You watch Matt Stafford today. He threw that ball. That ball was spinning. It was on target. He threw it at different arm angles, and it was very impressive. Now, I think Andy Dalton's good enough to make us a winning team to, you know, get us to 11 wins, get us to the playoffs. But you know, I get what everybody's they're critical. At the same time, if we were losing, they'd be way more critical. So let's just enjoy this.
Let's go to the other side of the ball. 51 times Stafford threw the ball. He targeted Johnson 15 of those. He caught 9 of those targets. He had 155 yards, 357 for Stafford. 0 sacks for the Bengals, which is how they designed the offense in Detroit for this situation. But the defense gives up 24 points, and had Stafford hit a couple of open receivers early on in the game, it may have been more. Is there concern for the defense over the last 2 weeks?
There is, but they're hurt. I mean, they're pretty banged up, especially in the secondary. I mean, you lose Leon Hall, you take a pretty sharp drop at the corner position. And if I was Detroit, throwing 51 times is usually silly in this league. But when the Bengals were that nicked up in the secondary, I don't blame them for throwing it that many times. And you're right, they didn't sack him, but they did get an intentional grounding call. And they actually almost got a second intentional grounding call late in regulation, late in the game, rather, when he rolled out, and actually probably should have gotten called for it. They got pressure on him in a couple of times when they were very, very key. But right now, it's just a banged-up defense.
Doug, this is the first 300-yard passing game this defense has given up in 21 games now. Are you concerned about what you're seeing?
I'm a little concerned, but I love our pass rush so much. I do think, as Skinny said, we are banged up right now, so I think I get it because of that. But to me, this defense is flying around. They're making plays. I do want to see us get more turnovers. I think if we get more turnovers, this defense goes from really good to incredible, and I think this team ends up winning by 2 touchdowns most games.
All right, fairly quickly. 4 weeks ago, we Davis said Bengals against the Jets. This is a good one, but the Jets beat the Patriots in overtime. Your thoughts on Jets coming here?
They're impressive. That being said, I just don't see them coming here and winning the way this team's playing right now. And to be 6-2 after 8 games, you would have given me 5-3. I'd have taken it to the bank because I thought this was probably 4-4 at the 8-game mark. This would be a huge win.
Skinny with the Bengals win.
I just saw that Kool-Aid I've been getting. He's starting to taste it.
Just rub it off on me, man.
I'm going to say I think we're going to win. At the same time, the only reason we do get beat is because we are so banged up. There's a lot of guys banged up today.
All right, guys. Appreciate it as always.